Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. I hope you enjoy. Story number 1. Once More with Feeding, written by Discordant Sky. The shrill call of the base's alarm woke me with a start, my flailing spilling me from my meager cot. I screamed, not in rage, but in terror, not caring for the looks of my comrades. No, I babbled to myself. I was dimly aware of the mutterings of my fellows, most dismissing my ramblings as shell shock from the last engagement with the humans. I untangled myself from my thin blanket and jumped to my feet. I took the barest moment to decide what to do before bolting it for the door to the barracks, shoving my commanding officer out of the way. I felt the muffled cramp as a point-defense gun opened up. No, please, no! My hand touched the door and the shrill call of the base's alarm awoke me with a start, my flailing spilling me from my meager cot. Words were lost on me. The only thing to escape me was a wail of agony. This is a nightmare, I thought. I've died and gone to the underworld. From my spot on the floor, tangled in my blanket, I felt the cannon fire and the shrill call of the base's alarm woke me with a start, my flailing spilling me from my meager cot. I was silent, ignoring the concerned calls of my comrades. I've gone mad, I sobbed. Make it stop, please. A muffled cramp sent a tremor through the base as the point-defense guns opened up. Madness seized my broken mind. I grabbed my sidearm, put the barrel to my mouth, and the shrill call of the base's alarm woke me with a start, my flailing spilling me from my meager cot. I laid there, sobbing and wailing uncontrollably, until the base's point-defense guns opened fire and a hand on my shoulder softly shook me awake. Hey, Mullock, a familiar voice said. Hit your rotation. I blinked a few times, my flayed mind not understanding what was happening. I simply sat up a little in the cot and stared at my comrade. It didn't happen, I said to him, and began to cry. What are you talking about? He asked. A puzzled look at his face. Come on, it's your watch rotation, and I want to get some. The alarm, I shouted. The point defense guns, they. A long burst of small arms fire made everyone in the barracks jump, most driving towards weapons. Contact! A muffled voice screamed somewhere outside. East side! A chill ran through my soul as I knew what was about to happen. Come on, my comrades began. We've got to. A hand on my shoulder softly shook me awake. Hey, Mullock, a familiar voice said. It's your rotation. It was different, I said, sitting up. It was different that time. What? My comrade said, shaking his head before asking. Weird dream. I leapt from the cot, shoving him out of the way. What the feck? He yelled from the floor. I sprinted towards the base's alarm switch on the wall next to the door and slammed my fists onto the large red button and screamed into the transmitter. Hostile contacts! I screamed like a madman. A rough hand grabbed my shoulder and tried to pull me away from the transmitter. A quick glance told me that it was my CEO, a look of rage on his face. Stand down, he said. I put my shoulder into his face and screamed into the transmitter again. East side, I said. Hostiles! I shoved my way off the barracks and looked to the east, even as 4 of my comrades shoved me to the ground. I saw them then, just as the floodlight snapped on. Humans. 5 of them, all standing by the chain-link fence, one holding a large pair of bolt cutters, who looked to be halfway done cutting a large hole in the fence. The sudden flare of light had scrambled their adaptive camouflage, and it had yet to change from the smoky black of their night camouflage. I knew the uniforms they wore, special ops troops, save one, who was bedecked in armor of the likes of which I'd never seen, taller than the other 4 by a head, and whose helm was featureless, angled shape, looking right at me. I screamed and pointed, my comrades following my finger and raising weapons. 4 of the humans, the normally armored ones, dived for cover. The 5th simply stood there and bore his gaze into me. Open fire! Someone called from behind. In the same instant, the strangely armored human seemed to shimmer, his outline blurring, and an inky blackness seemed to seep from his armor. Just looking at it made me feel as though the universe was coming apart around the strange human. The roar of dozens of small arms filled my ears and a hand on my shoulder softly shook me awake. Hey, Malik, a familiar voice said. It's your rotation. 305. The number updated in my HUD as I said a curse that my armor didn't vocalize. All right, everyone, form up. New update from command, I said. How do you update a snatch and grab up? Jake grumbled. Stow the belly aching, I said, glowering down at the man from behind my helmet. New objective. We've got new intel that there's an HVT in that base, and command wants him alive in addition to those star maps that they've got stored there. I ordered as I sent a picture of one of the aliens to each of my squad mates. Remember, that alarm goes off, they'll delete the data. In and out, like we were never there. What's so special about this one, Chief? Chris asked. I leaned out and around the tree and looked at the base kilometer away. I'd taken this many tries just to get this close without tripping any alarms. Now this new problem. He remembers, I said absently. That's new. The whole squad looked at me like I'd grown 2 heads. He remembers what? Jake asked. What are you talking about, sir? Crap, I groaned internally. Sir, he asked again, placing a hand on my arm. He remembers what? I activated the armor and the feel of a familiar tug on my mind, and the chill ran along every nerve in my body. 306. All right, everyone form up. New update from command, I said. How do you update a snatch and grab up? Jake grumbled. Stow it, I said, glowering down at the man from behind my helmet. New objective. We've got new intel that there's an HVT in that base, and command wants him alive in addition to those star maps that they've got stored here. I ordered as I sent a picture of one of the aliens to each of my squad mates. Remember, the alarms go off, they'll delete the data. In and out like we were never there. What's so special about this one, Chief? Chris asked. That's above your pay grade, I said. Let's go. Approach from the west side and keep your eyes peeled for the HVT. I thought the brief said come in from the east, Cody said. Change of plans, I said, shouldering my rifle. Keeps him guessing. Gonna be hard getting one of them out unnoticed, Jake said, forming up behind me. We'll figure it out, I said. We've never failed yet, have we? A chorus of approval all around. Once more, with feeling, I think to myself with a sigh. End of story. Story number 2. Emutional, written by _sky__. Sir, shouted the young cyber-archaeology student, his tentacles twitching in shock. What is it? His mentor rushed closer. What did you find? Well, this, I think it's a video. A fragment of a video record, at least. The mentor exhaled with a heavy sigh. Human videos are perfectly encrypted. You'll never get any. Yet the mentor was interrupted by a student. But this one is only partially encrypted. Huh? What? Yes, sir. Look at it. It even has ID data specified. The student's tentacles were now positively shaky with the weight of the emotions. It says, YouTube, potential history, published on August 10, 20XX. Human parts of audio files are missing too, but there are still a big stretch of functional audio. By the ancients, shouted the mentor. Historical data from human internet. We barely pulled anything before. Indeed, sir, I accidentally stumbled upon it. We maybe even derived the location from their home planet. Well, finding their home planet is a bit of a stretch, but what is on the video? I do not know, sir. I have not seen it yet. The mentor's eyes widened. By the mercy, play it. This must be the greatest archaeological finding to date. We must figure out what happened to the humans. It is crucial that our species doesn't make the same mistakes. Yes, sir. Thus the audio record started playing. First a dozen seconds were nothing but static snow that was part of the obviously encrypted. However, in what seemed to be the 20th second, the picture of the color emerged. Then, out of nowhere, a strange avian creature appeared on the screen in a black and white color, accompanied by the sound of what seemed like the testimony of a human soldier. The human voice. We thought this was going to be a simple job, in and out. Of course, we had no idea what was waiting for us. While the avian-looking creature was skillfully moving around as if looking for prey. Then a change in the screen, followed by the sound of a loud whistle, gunfire, and the sight of 2 avian creatures charging forward, likely because they have located their target. Video turned in slow motion. Voices of humans screaming and yelling echoed from the speakers, quickly mixing with the incoming sounds of the machine gun fire. What the hell is this? The mentor's tentacles stiff with terror. I guess humans fought this against these avians. The video recording blinked into black just for a second. The scenery changed, aging from a few avian creatures to a dozen at first, followed by the sight of the entire column of avians marching down the human-looking road. The same human voice from before spoke. There were thousands staring at us down. So many targets you could hardly pick on in the heat of the moment. The scene changed again to only 2 avians charging down the human residential compartment. The sound of the gunfire echoed, and one of the avians fell. I still sometimes see the flashes of the bloody feathers in my dreams, the voice of obviously shocked soldier continued. It seemed to reference some kind of war, nothing unusual really. A lot of data indicated that humans fought many of those, so it was only to be expected. Yet still, very little was known about the nature of human warfare per se. The recording went on for another 3 minutes with the occasional static or black screen. Not everything was clear, but it was obvious beyond the doubt that this recording was talking about a long-ago fought war between 2 species. At one time, a map with the simplistic deployment of tactical troops movements indicated there was significant fighting happening on one of the minor landmasses, enemies presumably painted red, friendly blue. The mentor assumed the avians were invaders and that they had tried to set up a planet landing base there, followed by a colorized picture of the avian leader, and even some grotesque scenes where the avians were pillaging and taking food from human civilians. By the ancients, this must be it! Screamed the student. These avians have probably committed a genocide on the humans. That is why there is so little of trace left of them. And it perfectly explains why they tried so hard to encrypt any information they had, just in case, replied the mentor. With shaking tentacles and broken voice, the student raised the question. What about the avians? I think, the mentor swallowed a lump, we need to inform the army about what we found and prepare for the worst. The student blindly stared at the screen. We are not alone, and neither were humans, his tentacles again, trembling in fear. What if they come for us? I do not know, answered the mentor. But knowing what happened to humans, we might at least stand a chance. What in fact the student and the mentor failed to understand was the true nature of the fragments of the YouTube video they found. End of an emu story. I would quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and Patreons. Casper Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Barky, Lord Azrakal, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Dragzoon WRE, Holly's Sister, Arcadian. Thank you very much.